Jalen Brownson and Devontae Graham. Getty Images 2. San Antonio, Villanova and Kansas could be cousins, the unquestioned kings of their respective, and powerful, conferences. Each coach has climbed a ladder and cut down a net after winning a national championship. Each program expects another. They share a number one seed and a style. They spread the floor and share the ball like it scorches their hands, shooting three-pointers like they count for five. They will meet in the Final Four, a championship game masquerading as a semi-final. I think the two teams kind of mirror each other, Kansas coach Bill Self said. I think they really take a lot of pride in being tougher, being harder, making other teams play poorly, that kind of stuff, which is very similar to us. I think our core philosophy is pretty similar, but the powers are split by perception. Entering Saturday's game at the Alamodome, Kansas is listed as large an underdog against Villanova as number 11 seed Loyola Chicago is against number 3 Michigan. We are used to it, Kansas Devontae Graham said. It is not the first time we have been the underdog. We were against Duke, regardless of us being the number 1 seed. Everyone still sees us as the underdog. A lot of people look down on what we have done and don't really give us the respect we deserve. Kansas 31-7 has produced one of the best offenses in the country by mimicking the formula of Villanova, using a four-guard lineup that averages more than 81 points per game and ranks 5th in the nation in three-pointers. Villanova 34-4 has built one of the most efficient offenses ever, leading the nation with 86.6 points. It is 7 three-pointers away from setting the Division I single-season record, while ranking 8th in assist-to-turnover ratio. It sets up for a shootout that should be far different than 2 years ago, when Villanova beat Kansas, 64-59, in a defensive-minded Elite Eight matchup. But back then, Jalen Brownson was just a freshman, quietly accepting a role behind Ryan Arcidiacono, while Graham was still carving out his place alongside Wayne Selden and Frank Mason III. Now, Brownson and Graham are the two best point guards in the country. Their intangibles are even better than their abilities. It will be a chess match with both of them, Self said. I hope they're matched up against each other quite a bit because I think it will be fun for people to see that and certainly fun to coach to it. It's just the latest jewel for Brunson, who was named the AP Player of the Year and won the Oscar Robertson Award this week. In the second round, he faced off with Alabama's Colin Sexton. The next week, he went against Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year Jevon Carter and Texas Tech's Keenan Evans. It deserves the hype, Graham said. But we both know it's Kansas versus Villanova, it's not Jalen versus Devontae. It's experience versus experience, strength versus strength, threes versus threes. In the most recent Final Four at the Alamodome, Kansas won its first national championship in 20 years, thanks to Mario Chalmers' last-second, overtime forcing three-pointer in the title game. In Villanova's most recent Final Four, Chris Jenkins gave the Wildcats their first national championship in 31 years, with his buzzer-beating three-pointer. Before that came Kansas. This group reminds me of our group in 16, Villanova coach Jay Wright said. I feel like we're getting better as the goes on, even at this time of year.